All right. We are live. Listen, guys, welcome to episode six. What we got here today is for entrepreneurs, business owners, and we're going to show you exactly the number one thing that holds back people, entrepreneurs, and business owners is stress and burnout. So we're going to talk about our experiences and hopefully that and the way we came out of that stress and burnout situation will help you do the same thing. So buckle up. This episode is going to be straight to the point and straight to the heart, and I believe it's going to be very valuable to you. So, listen, I remember when I started back in 2017, man. It was stressful. It was stressful getting clients. It was stressful keeping clients, and it was even more stressful when they cancel for no reason. All right. So we're going to be talking about those things among other things that are stressful, right? Like having too much month at the end of your money, right? And then, man, listen, I've been there, done that. I think that's partially why I lost my hair, right? But before we jump right into it, man, I see Leo grabbing his hair, right? So let's start with Leo because he started touching his head and distracted me there. Leo, talk to me, man. Have you been affected by this thing called stress or what people call burnout?
Yes, and yes. I realize that sometimes, we put so much pressure on ourselves that we tend to overwork, I guess, 7 days a week, 24 hours around the clock, constantly thinking about your business growth and what you can do. But one of the things that I know that stressed me out, I actually had total control of. And some people might not see it this way, but it's the distractions, you know, work, family. How do you balance being able to be an entrepreneur, work on your own time, and people in your family think that you're on their time now? Between you becoming the delivery boy, the taxi, and you don't want to tell nobody no. You're telling everybody you're your own boss. But I think one of the things that led into that kind of burnout was trying to make everybody else's goals come to life but my own. So when I started focusing on what was important, prioritizing and being spoken to by the right people, because I think that has a lot to do with it. I'm sure you can agree.
Mm-hmm.
If you're, my mom always said, if you hang out with nine bums, you're number 10. So if you put yourself in a situation where people don't appreciate or understand the value of their time, you as an entrepreneur are bound to get lost. So I think that's what ended up stressing me out. Um, and that key that you said, 2 months a month at the end of your money, yeah. You know what brings you back to reality? Your bank account, your responsibilities. When you tell your mom, I want to be able to help you, but I can't because I'm driving you around and I can't make ends meet to help you out financially, which is what you really need. So one person one time told me, it might not be the cure to everything, but I guarantee you, if you throw money at certain problems, they go away. That's what I got about that. I got a toothache. Throw some money on it. Go pay a dentist. I guarantee it goes away. My house is dirty. Pay somebody to clean it if you don't want to clean it. Money might not be the end all, but it definitely does go a long way when it comes to curing certain problems. What do you think about that, Coach? What do you think about that?
So I look at it totally different. We got to look up the definition of stress. So I don't ever feel stressed, and it's because of where I came from. My parents came from a third world country. That was stress. What they went through was stress. Coming to the United States and having shelter, having food every day. I never went hungry. My parents made sure I ate every day, 3-4 meals, sometimes 6 meals a day. My family, my mama and dad, make sure that I was well fed, right? So, and to compare myself and where I came from or where my parents came from, I'm very grateful. So I don't feel no pressure. I don't feel no stress at all. My kids, they're healthy. My wife is healthy. My family's healthy right now. So I look at it different, right? I look at the things that I escaped as a kid. I was never this this handsome, polished young man as a teen. I post my throwback pictures all the time. I evolved over the years. So the things I escaped, the things that I could have been in, and comparing to the people I grew up with, I can't be stressed. I have to be grateful, and to say, and I'm going to talk about burnout. A lot of times people burn out because they forgot why they're doing it. So you need to figure out and think back, okay, you know what? I'm tired, right? So you need to create a system. And what I like to do, I like to delegate. I like to, the things that I'm not strong with, that's why people get stressed, because they're trying to do things that that's not their gift. That's not their purpose. If it's your purpose, it's going to come easy. So you shouldn't be stressed out about what you're doing or burnt out. So that's how I got a different spin on it. And I could talk about this for another 30 minutes, but I want to hear from how y'all feel about what I said.
I got you. Yeah, for sure. So we see where you're at now, right? We want to think. I know, it's something that we got to bring to our memory is the back in the day. Because this is for the guy, this is for the girl that right now they're in business. Well, they're getting started, or they've been doing this for a long time. Like I just met earlier today with the gentleman that's in the insurance space, right? He saw one of my ads, booked an appointment with me. The man is 65, right? Not in the position where he wants to be right now, right? And he's stressed. He's going through emptying the bank account right now, right? So it doesn't matter what age you're in, whether you're getting started now and you're in your 20s or you're in your 60s or 70s, right? But for those that are going through it right now, because when you're going through it, it's like you could take something so small, like a pen, and it looks so big because it's so close to you, right? So that for those folks, I'm going to bring to memory, and I would recommend you guys do the same, those days during the struggle, right? And there's power in broke, by the way. I went to, I know I told you guys, I text you guys. Actually, I didn't text you guys. I put it on my social media this weekend. I was in Orlando, right? Mm-hmm. And I went into the mall, and I went into the Rolex store. And I thought I was balling. And then and then I'm walking around, and then I went to the Hublot store. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Hublot, the watch company. Hublot. I don't even know how to say the name, man. You could tell. So I went in there, and I'm like, oh, I'm looking for this watch. This watch is pure gold, blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, we don't. I'm like looking around. Oh, you guys don't have them here. And he goes, oh, that was in the safe. They go to the safe. They bring it back. And I was like, oh, great. What's the sticker price in this bad boy? It's a little $51,000 watch. It's nothing crazy, but it's $51,000 for a watch.
Right.
Right. And I'm like, man, I thought I was balling. I got to go back to work. Right. I was like, man, really? That's crazy. So, and that's not even a big watch, right? But, it's a starter watch. And but go ahead, Coach. I know you probably got a few of those later on.
So you brought me back. Because there was some moments, I've been through so much, especially as an entrepreneur, that I buried everything in my mind. I'm talking about I buried it so deep that I have amnesia. That it takes a lot for me to even remember the times where I had to, because I drove a Prius, knocking doors, right? I drove a Prius. I had to work 2 hours away from home, and I remember every morning I used to have to look for some change in my car just to put some gas in it. So how do you overcome stress? How do you overcome the bad days? You need to stand on the shoulder of giants, because trust me, somebody has gone through what you've been through, and someone needs to calm you down. Do not overreact, and remind you where you at and where you headed. If you don't have someone to remind you where you headed, you're always going to keep thinking about the past. You're always going to revert to the past. And what happens when we think about the past? We become depressed.
You go right back.
That's right. Absolutely.
You get what you think of. And a Prius, man, That's serious. My bad. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
gotta
glad
see a picture of Marc in a Prius.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm going to post them on social media. I got some pictures of my Prius. Matter of fact, if it was not for my nephew wrecking my car, I would have still had it. It had almost 300,000 miles on it.
Yeah, I heard only
Wow.
I heard only Asians drive that thing. Isn't that true?
Man, that's the best. That's my best car. I told my wife the other day I might have to get another one. I love the way it drove, man.
They make like no sound. Like you could if you're walking right in front, you're gonna get hit. They make no noise, right?
Man, 50 miles per gallon, no noise, quiet. Okay.
You know, that standing on that you live by that phrase, by the way, Coach. Stand on the shoulder of giants. That is your phrase. We're gonna have to find out what are the giants that you're standing on their shoulders. I think that you did hit a very valid point, because when you first come into the industry or any industry, they try to get you to think of your why. And most people say my kids, my wife, I want to retire my mom. And I beg to differ. I was one of those people, but I will tell people that is a why on the surface level. Because if that was a why that can pull you, you would not find you would not sit in that space too long. You will not sit in depression, or can I do this, or it won't do that. I think that your why, though, everybody's why is different. I used to do an exercise with my team where they would say their why, and there was this one guy, I won't say his name, but when he spoke of his why, you could see the tears in his eyes. Like he would cry about it, and it was part of the why. Just about 10% of it was his kid. But the rest was so much larger. And I think what pulls us out of those stressful funks is really getting in touch with why. The real why, as to you put yourself through this. Because you're not going to put yourself through any pain without a why. You go to the gym, right? We all started working out. We started talking about working out every day. Sometimes you wake up and you don't want to go. You're tired. You're sore. But you know what makes you get up? The damn why. The picture that you have in your head of what you want to look like. And you know that you got to put in the hours, the time, the grit to get that goal. So I think if people really start focusing on their why, put the equal sign, it'll get them to their goal. And anytime you're in a stressful situation and something's pulling you down, getting you depressed, if you could reach inside and really hit that why, I think it changes everything. That's my opinion on that.
So let me ask you this: so you think that the person should live in the future? You think they should focus on the end game, or do you believe that they should be realistic?
That's a loaded word, realistic, on this kind of platform. That's loaded. But I'm going to answer that to the best of my ability with what I think, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I think one of the things I admire about you, Coach, is that it's not the mentorship, is that you have vision. You literally, I don't think you sit in the present. I think you're there right now, but you're already looking at 5, 10 years from now, and you see what the person, including yourself, looks like. So I think that we all have to have a vision, something that pulls us. See, motivation pushes. That's all motivation does. But we need to look for that inspiration to pull, because motivation runs out like gas. You can watch a motivational video, 5 minutes in, you're crazy, you want to do whatever, and then you're like, I'm tired. But if you got that pull from your vision that you're looking far away, that person that's five years away from you is the one that's holding your hand and pulling you. And here's what I'll say to that. Sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes the glass gets really foggy. Sometimes you go through so much that you end up getting lost. You know what's important at that time? Who you surround yourself around. And if you can honestly trust that person to take your glasses off, throw a little Windex, clean them with a nice rag, put them back on your eyes, and pour belief, and then look at you, look where you're going, and show you your vision. When you have that type of mentorship that they can show you the vision, You live in that. You know, I'm be quite honest, man. I check in with Coach every day. I talk to John at least, I can say in a week, 4 or 5 times. And I tell you what happens when you guys call me. I could be in the greatest funk of life. Something could have stubbed my toe and fell on me. But I know I cannot answer the phone, answer the FaceTime saying, hey, what's up? That is not happening because one or two things are going to happen. What the hell you doing? What's wrong? We don't talk like that? Might hang up on me and try again? I don't know. Something crazy is going to happen. So I don't care what happens. I put on the, what's going on? Yeah, I'm baby. Yeah, this is great. It's a wonderful day. You know why? Because that I know that I got 2 guys that are going to pull me to the vision that they see, and they see greatness in me, and I believe in the greatness I have inside. So having those 2, that support system and that inspiration to pull me makes it all better. And I think that's what people need to have, a why, and they should live in the future to use that as inspiration to pull them. That's what I got. I hope I was able to answer your question, Coach, and not be too wordy.
Oh, that was beautiful, man. That was poetry right there, man.
Yeah. You gotta copyright that.
That's right. John, how you feel about the future? Do you dwell in the future, or because you're super you're a ritual guy. You're very committed. You're very disciplined. How do you feel about living in the future?
Man, listen. I believe in vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Bible says, a man without a vision perish, right? But the same Bible also says, do not be troubled or worried about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring his own troubles.
Mm.
All right? But it doesn't contradict itself. He said you should have a long-term vision, right? You got to know where you're going. But do not worry about tomorrow, right? For example, look, this weekend I was at a resort with the family, right? 4th of July weekend. And I'm on one of those pedal boats in the middle of like a little, I don't know what you call that, a lake or pond or whatever it is. Lagoon, something like that. All right. And I'm paddling there. I'm with 2 of my kids on it, and my wife and my sister's on the other one with my other son. And I got a few text messages from some clients. Right? Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Right? I manage customer support. By the way, customer support, we got an A team coming right in. Right? Next month, you won't see me doing support no more. So use me and abuse me now, right? I fund the A team. They're trained. They know what they're doing. Boom, they're good to go. All right. But then I noticed, because my coach always says, you got to live in the present. Enjoy the present. You know how hard that is when you got a million things going? Whether they're good or bad, you thinking about them. And I'm there pedaling in the water. Like literally, I did this. I'm like, Coach says, live in the present. Because I started draining my energy thinking about Monday. What I had to do on Monday. I didn't reply to the clients that day. Actually, I did. I replied to one of them. All right. Maybe 2 of them. I'm not sure. And I got the situation taken care of, right? By the beach, chilling, right? Sunbathing. Not really. And I'm like, you know what? This is what he means by stay in the present. Dude, I'm right here with my family on a resort. Beautiful spot. What am I doing thinking about 2 days from now, 3 days from now? So I sucked it all back in. I resolved the situation. I didn't leave it lingering there, right? Money loves speed, and successful people are quick to fix things, right? Just get out of the way, peel it off. It is what it is. And I resolved it, and then boom, I focused on the present. I was telling I started playing after that. I started playing mini golf with my kids. First time playing mini golf, man. Actually, it was pretty fun. I might start to pick up real golf, you know? I was like, all right, I like this, you know? It was
relaxing. That's where the money's made.
Yeah, it was relaxing, it was calm. I'm like, I never even hit one of these balls, right? And I was decent at it, right? It took me forever tries, but we did it. But then I started thinking about the present. I'm like, dude, and I started telling to myself in my mind, focus on the present, focus on now. This is where you're at. And I started looking at my surrounding, right? I even may have looked at my hands. I'm like, focus on here, focus on now. And then I snapped out of it and I focused on the present. Why?
You're talking about life. You're talking about life. I get what you're saying.
That's what stress people out. They're thinking about the problem. They're thinking about the situation. They're thinking about the thing that they have to resolve, the thing they got to do, the thing they want to get, right? Like I'm in the process of upgrading my car, right? And I'm like, dude, I don't want that taking care of me, of my mindset, of what I'm occupying myself with, right? So I put that to the side. It's not priority. I talked to the rep that's going to help me do everything he's got to do, blah, blah, blah. I talked to him earlier. 5 minutes, we're in and out, right? And I'm like, dude, I don't want it to occupy my mind. But I remember when I was driving Uber in 2017 after I got fired from my job. I was an amazing recruiter. I was number 2 in the company I was at, right? They hired me twice, actually. You know you're good when they hire you back, right? And they wouldn't fire me from that job. So I went and I got a recruiting job at an engineering firm. They recruited engineers. That was when I learned about the word prima donna. I never heard of that word before. Well, engineers are prima donna. They think they're the best thing in the world, right? And by the way, you can pay them how much you want. They still don't show up to work. A little side note. And I got stressed out of that job. I was like, I'm done with this. I got fired. Thank God. I did collect unemployment, put it out there, right, for 6 months. And then I started driving Uber. And I remember, because this is when I was looking for my why. This is when I was looking for my next move. This is when I was looking for, like, what am I going to do? I am not going back to work for the man. I don't want a man telling me what to do, right? And I started driving Uber, man. I drove Uber for, like, I think a full year straight before I found my why. And I started driving Uber before I got fired, by the way. I was prepping. I was ready. All right. So, but I remember at night at 2:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning in Boston, tired, falling to sleep, having to go to the airport in Logan Airport and park there for an hour, take a nap. I would cry in between rides, literally cry. Grown man crying because I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling like, dude, what the heck you bring me to this world, God? And the Bible says those who seek will find. I started looking for it. And then out of nowhere, I connected with Ty Lopez from YouTube. Then, from Grant Cardone and then Ty Lopez. And then I bought the Ty Lopez SMMA course 2.0 for $1,000. That got me started into the marketing world. I did affiliate marketing for a little while. But listen, I say all that to say this. I was stressed. So stressed that you know when you get stressed and you feel it all over your body? Like it feels like sand going through your blood.
Panic attack.
Mm-hmm. That kind of stress. It wasn't panic yet, but it felt like it.
Yeah.
That's a panic attack. I've never been there.
It did not feel good. Why? Because I was thinking of what I didn't have and I was stressing over it. And I didn't have a solution yet. All right. Leo got something to say. Leo, say it, man.
Let me tell you something. Something I've learned while being in this industry and an entrepreneur. First of all, I want to go back to your comment about the present. That's why it's called present, because it's a gift. You got to remember to stay in the present. I'm talking about having that vision to live in the future so you could create the future you want. But I just want you to know that was great that you were able to pull it and remember that you have a gift right now. That's why it's called the present. The past already happened. But one of the things that I think entrepreneurs or anybody, even the working force, they can't think about the problems. I've learned that through meeting you guys and being more coachable and really tapping into my gifts, that the way to really face quote unquote problems is to be a solution-based thinker. If you see a problem, don't think about the problem. Think how you can resolve the problem. Think of, okay, here's a situation. Let me resolve the problem. So you start putting it together in your head like a jigsaw puzzle on how to fix it. When you have an idea, seek mentorship. See if two minds are better than one. And if you're in the right circles, you got somebody that's a good thinker. You just gonna listen. Any mentor I have, if I come to them with a problem and I don't have a solution, they're gonna say, "Call me back when you think of something." I already know that's coming, so I gotta think of the solution prior to making that phone call. Because how was your day? Oh yeah, I'm dealing with a few things, and what you gonna do about it? You don't got an answer for that? I'll talk to you later. They're gonna talk to you later. That's politely telling you, go think of the solution before you come to me, because no one wants to give you their answer because it's your life. You're allowed to, you have the one thing that God gave you, even though he gave us the Bible to follow. There was a caveat to that. It's called free will. Any open-minded person is not going to take your free will. So they want to see what your solution is to see if they can add to it or just tell you that's a good idea. And that's the kind of people you want to socialize with. I see you guys shaking your hands, so I guess I'm hitting a nail.
Bro, I agree with you 100%. Sometimes because you dug yourself in that hole, you need to dig yourself out. In order to become your own superhero, you need to figure out yourself. You need to be your own superhero. And if people keep helping you, how you gonna develop the strength, the courage to fight it out next time you get in that situation? And maybe this situation is happening for you so that you can help millions of others get out that same situation when they get in it. You know, so sometimes you have to be your own superhero in this lifetime, man.
Yes,
100%.
yes. Nothing happens to you. Nothing happens to you. It happens for you. That's right.
Got to put your cape on.
100%, man. One of the things that my coach always says, right, is that the answer is in you. We all have the answers inside of us, right? It's exactly what you said, Marc, right? It's like it's inside of you, right? You might just be asking or focusing on the wrong thing. Most of the time when we have a problem, we focus on the problem. Because that's our reactionary system. That's just how we survive thousands of years as humans, right? Yes. Bless you, Leo.
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome. And the answer is inside of us. Whatever you focus on grows, right? You probably heard it before. I don't know if it was a lion or a tiger or a fox or what it was, but they said which one will grow, which one will survive longer, the one you feed it, right? So it's the same thing with your mind. Your mind is extremely powerful. You know, people are talking about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not as intelligent as we are. All right. That's what it's called, artificial. It's not real intelligence like what God gave us. So one of the other reasons why I believe that people get stressed is they might be doing things, but they might be doing the wrong things or doing things the wrong way. All right. I remember, I'm going to take you guys back a little bit when I was in the insurance space. When I first started, before I had to use my brain and bring in marketing, right? I was doing things like everybody else. Come in, contact friends and family, bother the crap out of them. I was not prepared. I was not trained. I didn't have a script. And if I had one, I didn't pay attention, just like in college, right? And I screwed it all up, right? So I was doing the same thing over and over for over a year. And then I realized, man, no wonder I'm not getting results because I'm doing the same thing. The same exact thing, right? So if something's not working, man, it's not like, hey, you got to switch it. You got to change it. It's like, go run after it. If it doesn't give you the slightest result after you've done it for a couple of months, change it. Don't give up in a day, right? The problem with people nowadays is that they try for a day. I just put a video out like 2-3 days ago talking about this. People are so fast to quit. They try for a day. They try for 2. Oh, they say that MLM thing don't work. Oh, that insurance thing don't work. That network marketing thing don't work. Oh, that business don't work. You know, they tried it for what? Like 30 days, 2 weeks, and then they give up. All right. So
microwave mentality.
So when people come to me complaining about, especially when they're working in other industries, one of the things I always ask is, hey, look, is someone killing it, doing what you're doing? What system are they following? What are they doing? Now, if no one is doing well, then it's time to pivot. But if someone is doing well, you need to figure out what they're doing so you can do it too. And life is all about, you know, getting your number 2 pencil and copying people. You have to copy the right cat, though. You have to copy the right people in order to, you know, and it'll always go back to mentorship, coaching, standing on the shoulder giants. Find somebody that's doing it already, and that's relieve stress. Hey, look, I got a goal. I'm not reaching my goal, but there's a guy that lives 2-3 states away from me. He's doing triple what I'm doing. I'm going to do my best to figure out what he's doing. I'm going to even pay him to shorten that learning curve in order to get where I need to get at, in order to feel better about myself and start stressing myself out. I think that's one of the biggest hacks a lot of people don't want to do. A lot of people have the ego and they don't have I ain't gonna say they don't have the money, they don't have the mindset, because if someone kidnap your kids, Leo, if someone kidnap your son, Leo, you're gonna find that money in order for that ransom if somebody hold them hostage. So you need to treat your life like somebody holding a hostage. And you need to invest in yourself in order to get the right coaching and find the right strategy from the right people, even though you have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Mark, you just for receipts, I know you spend like well in the six figures of personal development. You're your greatest asset. And I'm putting it out there. I just put it out there. I apologize if I cross any lines, but I know we're live.
Somebody asked me the other day, matter of fact, it was Monday, how I invested myself. I said I've invested over six figures in my into mentorship, into academies, leadership training. I invested all of that stuff, and guess what? I'm getting it right back.
And then you give it out to us for free, which is amazing. You know, people don't understand the opportunity they got when you're speaking to them. Man, this is the word to anybody out there. This is my word. Ego. Everybody has an ego. You better bring that ego down to like 5% and copy the right cat. Because if you do that, that is the ticket to not being burnt out, stressed, failing, or doing poorly. You could only fail if you quit. Doesn't matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You only fail when you quit, when you stop. And if you're copying the right cat and they're not quitting, why would you?
Right. Mm-hmm. You can't have a big bank account and an ego at the same time. You got to have one.
Yeah.
Give up one.
Yeah. Take that big bank account. Kill that ego, right?
That's right.
So, and I know you always say, stand on the shoulders of giants, right? For those that do not understand, what that means is, man, listen, like Leo said it before, you are the average of the people you surround yourself with. All right. And the best way to know if you're in the right or the wrong environment is look around. How many people around you are complaining? How many people around you are complaining the same thing you're complaining about? Right. If you're in a circle of people that are complaining about the same exact problem and nobody dares to look for a solution and invest even half the energy into finding a solution as much as they spend complaining about it, you got to just get out of the circle. All right. And it don't matter who it is. Could be your mama, your father, your brother, your sister, anybody. Right. I've done it. I remember a few years ago, once I became a Christian, I stopped hanging out with family because all they do is drink and smoke and do hookah. Right. And just putting it out there. They know who they are. And I tried, once I had kids, I tried to incorporate the family. So I tried a few Thanksgivings, maybe like 2. I tried maybe 1 or 2 Christmas parties with family only and a few strangers that I didn't know who the heck they were. And I really tried, but I didn't like the environment. I'm like, listen, I don't care who you are. I don't want that environment around me. Definitely not around my kids. I cut it out. Next time they were doing it, they invited me. I said, hey, no can do. You screw it up the last 2 times, So you have to be comfortable cutting people out. And if you're not comfortable cutting people out, you better get comfortable losing with them. All right? This is the reality. All right?
Don't be afraid to lose people.
You could lose people or lose your life. You got to pick one. If I was hanging out with the knuckleheads I was hanging out in high school, I would have been in prison or dead. What I do, I call them all out, all of them, at once.
That is a great lesson right there. That's the lesson of the week, Coach. You know what? I know we have 15 minutes. Can you elaborate on that? Because I think people are afraid. Here's what people are afraid of. And I'm glad you brought it up. They're afraid of losing people, and it's all because of FOMO. Fear of losing out. So when you said that with such gusto. Don't be afraid to lose people. Can you just elaborate on that, sir?
I'm gonna give it because I'm a sports guy, and I watch these GMs, these presidents of these franchises, and how they deal with the athletes and how they deal with their team. If you have a system, you shouldn't. If you're an entrepreneur, you shouldn't care about losing people. I'm going with business partners. I'm going to step into family in a minute. So, Bill Belichick, he won a Super Bowl without Randy Moss, right? my man Patrick Mahomes cheated left. The best player on the team, second to Mahomes, left. And they still won a Super Bowl. So I always tell people, I'm the New England Patriots of our industry. I am the Kansas City Chiefs of our industry, because no matter who leaves and go which way, I'm going to win regardless, because I have a system and because God have a bigger plan for me. So I'm not afraid to lose people. And I always tell people the same thing. I tell my kids that don't be afraid to lose friends, because they're going to lose you. Because we know who we are. We have the integrity. We know we're doing the right thing. Never defend your character. Allow time to defend your character. Family, cut them off. They're going to weigh you down. Most times, family is our anchors. They're the one who's dragging us. They're the one who have our ships at the port. There's nothing exciting to be at the port. If you're a ship, you should be in the water somewhere sailing, not at the port with your anchors. A lot of people have anchors and their family members. Cut them off. Just because someone is related to you by blood, that don't mean that they're family. I have more business partners that I call family than blood relatives because of the mindset. It's all about like-minded and being around like-hearted people. Don't be afraid to lose anyone. God put you on earth to be, you was born by yourself, you're going to leave by yourself.
That's right. Right on, man. Right on. And what would you say to those people that, because there's different scientifically, right, or psychologically, there's types of people that are okay being alone, and there's types of people, so they say, I don't know, personalities that really cannot be alone at all for like even a day. So, and I think I know your answer, but what would you say to those people that feel like they cannot be alone or they fear being alone? And by the way, let me before you, I know what you're gonna say, but maybe not, right? But before you say what you're gonna say, it's not necessarily to be alone. It's not to be with the wrong people. All right. But what would you say to those people that think that they're gonna be alone if they cut out the wrong people out of their lives?
Well, they have to be a believer, because you're never alone. You're never alone. So you have to believe. You have to be a believer, and you have to believe in yourself, because everything is temporary. Everything in life is temporary. And I know you study stoicism, right?
Yeah.
They teach that. They teach, hey, look, don't depend on anybody, don't depend on anything, because in the blink of a second, all that could be gone. Right? So I always teach my kids this. Alone is good, because you have isolation. You have time to focus on what you really want to do. Now you have time to put down your next plan. You know, I'm a big chess guy. I love playing chess. I'm always thinking 10, 12, 15 steps ahead. If you always in the arena with people having too much going on, you hear all the noise, you hear the rah-rah, the boos, right? But you're never in isolation. Sometimes you need to be alone. Sometimes that's the reason why you're alone, because it's time to focus on the next steps, the next moves.
That's right. That's right. No, you said it right on. So what we are advising for those people listening is not necessarily to be alone.
No.
Right? It's to be surrounded with the right type of people and let go of the wrong type of people. Who are the wrong type of people? You know them. Because when you sit down with them, they suck your energy right out. Those are called energy vampires.
Vampires.
They just suck it right out of you. And you can feel the energy leaving your body. All right? The right type of people is those that tell you the truth. like I got like maybe between my mom and one of my sisters, actually two of them, when I start to gain weight, they call me right out. You know how much I appreciate that? I get pissed, but you know how much I appreciate that? Because they care enough to tell me. All right. Then I start losing the weight, and then they tell me too. I like that. I wasn't expecting it because I know what it is. Right. But just being around the right people. Like I remember once when I was 18 years old, I was an administrative assistant for an outreach company in Massachusetts that helped adults with trauma. I was a front desk kind of guy, right? I was 18. That was like my third job. And there was this guy, a Puerto Rican dude. I'm Dominican, right? You know how they say Dominicans and Puerto Ricans don't mix? That's a lie, by the way. All right. My pastor is Puerto Rican, and I think we get along as well. But this guy, man, he called me out on something. I used to wear slacks, like dress pants.
Yeah.
I was 18. I would put on white sports socks, you know? And no one told me. Dude, I went to church like that. I prayed on the altar. I may have even preached on the altar. I hang out with people at church all the time. And they seen it. You could see white socks on black slacks. Like, come on.
Yeah. Like Mike Jackson.
Yeah, it was not stylish, by the way. And sometimes I would wear the ankle ones, you know? Like if I pull up, my pants go out when you sit down, you see my hairy legs. And this guy, whom I didn't quite like, maybe because he was too honest, right? And eventually I liked him because I was like, this still tells the truth. I'm sitting next to the other administrative assistant at the office. He's passing by. He comes around. He goes like, John, by the way, do you know you're supposed to wear dress socks with dress pants? I got defensive. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You know, what are you talking about? And then after I come down, I go on Google and I'm like, what the heck is dress socks? I didn't even know. I was 18. And I started looking at pictures. I'm like, this guy is not kidding. You're supposed to wear dress socks with dress pants. So I went and I bought dress. I never wear that crazy sports socks ever again with dress pants. Right? And in the same job, again, I was 18. I was new to the office jobs, right? Well, I would wear dress shirts and dress pants straight out of the dryer. You already know how that goes. And no, not when it was worn, after it cooled down.
Oh, wow.
And I used to do the same thing at church. I used to walk around with wrinkled clothes and pants. It took one guy at the office. We're in a meeting. I'm walking out. I hear everybody kind of talking. After everybody leaves, I remember this guy named Moses. He was from Kenya, the skinny side of Kenya, right? He was like tall and skinny, like he could run, right? And he pulled me to the side personally. He goes, hey, he had an accent, heavy accent. I'm not even going to try to say it. But he goes like, hey, he goes, hey, John, you know you're supposed to iron your slacks. I'm like, what the heck is a slack? He goes, your dress pants. I was like, no kidding. Next day I come in, ironed up. But the thing is this, I say that to say this. I'm wearing the wrong socks, little things, right? And I'm wearing wrinkled clothes. I'm going to church where I thought I had family. I don't think they love me that much to tell me, John, you should probably look into this. It took somebody else externally whom I thought didn't like me to tell me the truth. All right. So again, I say this to say that. Associate with people that are honest with you. Those are the right people.
So now there's a catch-22 to that now, John.
Yeah.
What if you tell, like, let's say your plans this year is to help 30,000 people. You tell your friends that, hey, look, my goal this year is to help 30,000 people. What do they tell you? Hey, look, John, don't do that, man. You're working too hard. Your family needs you. You're going to be too tired. Why do you want to help all the people? Why do you want to make all that money? Don't be greedy, man. Don't do it. You don't have to do all that, man. Just take it, whatever you're doing, just cut it in half and just, live life good. Take your family on one trip, one vacation a year, and just live life and just be grateful, man. Now, how would you address that situation?
Let me tell you first how the old John, the younger, unprepared, no self-development John would have reacted to that. I would have taken that to heart, and I would have done exactly that.
Yeah.
But the new guy that invested in self-development over the years, that buys the books, buys the coaching, buys the networking, buys whatever I got to buy to become better. Because listen, I'm 34 years old and I'm lucky if I make it to 80. All right. So put it into perspective. I'm almost halfway through my life. I don't know when I'm going to go, but we're almost halfway through our life. Some of us are even past our halfway through our life, whatever the half is. Only God knows. But if that person is telling me what they're telling me, which, by the way, someone tried to tell me that recently, the first thing I do now is I look at that person's lifestyle, who they are, what they're living, what they have been able to achieve, Are they living the life that I want to live? If the answer is no, that comment goes straight to the trash. And if they are in the position where I want to be, which you would never see a successful person hating on a successful person, ever. Even when they screw up, never you will see a successful person beat somebody else down. Only losers bring losers down. All right, successful people bring successful people up. All right, that's just the reality. It may have maybe a harsh word, loser, right? But it is what it is. All right. So analyze who the message is coming from. All right. Same thing with pastors. Man, I'm so analytical nowadays. If I see a pastor preaching one thing on the altar and they step down the altar and they're talking different, I'm like, Bible says by their fruits you'll know them. If you are so faithful up there, I want to see you faithful down here when you step down. All right. There's good people and bad people everywhere. All right. So that's my answer to you. I know there's a long answer. There's probably, by the way, they say when you don't want somebody to ask you so many questions, you give them very long answers to demotivate them from giving you another question.
But got 12 more questions for you, John. I'm just joking.
No, I'm just joking, man. But I hope that answered your question, man.
Yes, you did. Absolutely.
And by the way, Takira Sullivan is saying here, hello, guys. She's saying on YouTube, this is a great topic, really great point. Coach hit it on the nail, head on. Let them people go.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. Who said that?
Takira Sullivan.
Okay, there you go. Shout out to Takira.
Yes, sir. Yeah, she's out there. She's out there. Look, that's her comment right there, man. So thank you for connecting, Takira. Much appreciated.
There we go.
Yes, sir. So that's that, man. What else can we let's wrap up with this. Let's start closing, right? What else can we tell those listeners how we get out of the stressful situations? Maybe 1 or 2 pointers, maybe 3, right? So that they can apply it in their lives today. Practical things that they can actually take action, like literally right now. What would you say?
I'll start. I'll start with take some breaks. Attach your goals, right, to make it some incentives. Like, for example, for me, what I used to do, I used to go hard, door knocking, doing $20,000 a month. Every time I would do $20,000 a month, I would reward myself by taking my wife out to any restaurant she wants, and I'll take my son out to Chuck E. Cheese and to the movies. Now, if I didn't reach my goal, I had to tell them that we ain't going nowhere. So I always reach my goal. And also take mini breaks, not vacations. A lot of people like take vacations. When you take vacation, you lose momentum. So take breaks. A day, 2 days off, 3 days the max, they come back rejuvenated and feeling more grateful. Take breaks. Try your best to delegate the thing that you're not good at. The thing that stress you out, delegate that situation to someone else. And always find a running mate so y'all could divide the stress together and the burnouts together. That's all I got for now.
I like that. So take a mini break, right? Find a running mate and reward yourself, yes. Right? So the reward, and also there's a flip side to that coin, the punishment. You said it without saying.
Yep.
Yeah. No, punishment. Yeah. I know last time we spoke in person, when we met in person, Leo said that his punishment was, can I say it, Leo?
Sure.
Yeah. So he said his punishment was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I'm thinking, when he said, I didn't want to say anything in person because, I was like,
he didn't want to say in person, so let's put
wait till 1,000 people seeing it. Hey, I want to say it right here.
Hey, why they throw it out there, right? But I'm listening. I'm like, interesting. That's my reward. I don't sit around eating sweets, right? And I love me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, organic as you can get, right? That's what I get. The bread, the jelly, no ingredients. Peanut butter is just nuts, right? So that's funny because that week that was my reward because of my macros, right? I'm counting my calories. So, but the whole point is that you have to have a reward and punishment system. All right. And no, it's not, for disclaimer out there, it's not harmful. It's not, do not harm yourself. Right. Just deprive yourself of something that you like to do, whether that's watching Netflix, right? Like I sit down like around 8:30. I sit down to watch Netflix. I got no shame on that. I finish my work. I go sit down.
That's your reward.
All right. I sit down for an hour or two, and then go straight to bed. All right, and then wake up to go to the gym. All right. I was off track. By the way, I woke up at 5 this morning. I felt like going back to sleep. I was like, nope. Oh, and I went and I just left.
Discipline. Yep.
That's it. You have to do it. It's not motivation. You're not going to be motivated to wake up at 5 in the morning and hit the gym.
No.
But you have to do it. All right. And that's going to put you in the right mindset. You're going to start believing in being in having that confidence in yourself. If you don't have confidence in you and you're trying to make sales, forget it. Like right before we came here, I did 10. I did a few. I didn't do a lot. Like 10 minutes before we went live here, I did 10 burpees, and I did I just went at it until I couldn't do more what is it called?
Push-ups until failure.
And then I went to push-ups right after. I didn't count them. I just kept going until it hurt. And then I stopped. Then we're here. What does that do? Put me in the right mindset, right? You got to remind the body who's in control. All right. The body's not in control. You're not the body. This body's going to die, so you better detach from it. All right. You're a soul. You're eternal. You're never going to die. All right. There's two places. You already know where those are. I'm going up. But that's not to say this. You got to submit the body through enough pain that when these other things come through life called stress, they don't feel that painful.
Okay.
Leo, what are your 2 or 3 points, sir?
3 points. 1, surround yourself around the right people. I think that it's been the common thread this week. If you stay long enough in a barbershop, you will get a haircut. So if you put yourself in the right position, even if you're not in the mood to be around those people, if you stay in that position, you end up doing the right thing. So that's one of my pointers that can be implemented today. I'm talking about implementation. Mentorship. We're not meant to do everything alone. Yeah, you have alone times. And you know what? Some people, I was fortunate enough that God put the right people in front of me, but I still had to humble myself to ask for mentorship. I had to ask, and I had to be ready for whatever they said. I actually asked the mentor, and they told me, no problem. On the first, I'll start, and I can mentor you. It'll be about a G. And I was like, part of the problem is I don't have the G.
That's a good problem, by the way.
I was like, wait, time out, hold on. So, it puts you, but you got to be ready for the answer, and you got to decide whether you can or can't do it. And I think anybody can do it. They just have to, like Marc said, if they kidnap your children, you'll find the money, right? So mentorship, being around the right people, which doesn't mean mentorship. It just means being around the right people.
Can I piggyback off that real quick?
Yeah.
When the student is ready, the teacher shall appear.
Yep. Yeah, the teacher's always there, but it's when the student's ready. So those are my 2 points, and then I'll give you the third one. This one might sound harsh, might be hard, maybe not, depends who's listening. You got to believe in yourself. If you can't bet on yourself, entrepreneurship is not for you. You might as well just clock in, clock out, follow whoever you call as a leader, because I'll tell you, you will be tested, you will be exposed, and you better perform. You will be tested, because the test is needed for the testimony. So you will be tested. Now, are you up for that test? You got to believe in yourself. And if you have those 3 things that I just said, when you don't believe in yourself, there will be people that you're surrounded by that will lift you up. And then if you have the proper mentorship, they will pour into you. I think that's it for me. I mean, that's what got it for me. So I hope I prove the point.
Right on, man. Right on. So you said surround yourself with the right people. Mentorship. The third one was you got to believe in yourself. All right. Without faith, man, we're going nowhere. All right. Like, for example, I'm going to be honest with you. The last 2 days, I got hit with a few things left and right. Right? Nothing major. No one died. Everybody's alive. But it didn't feel comfortable. right? I almost fired a client yesterday. Let's just say that. A nice client. We want to help, but don't come at me with an attitude. Came up with an attitude. 30 seconds. I calm him down. I calm me down. I almost fired him on the spot, by the way. But he meant well. Just came out a little wrong. So I almost fired him. And then I calm myself down. And I'm like, you know what? I got to drop to the ground and do burpees. Drop to the ground. Do 20 burpees. Do 100 burpees. Do whatever many burpees it takes, or push-ups or something. What you're doing now is you're distorting your mind from focusing on out there. And now the pain is so close to your body that you're focusing in here. That's what that's for. And it's realigning your energy, bringing you right back up. You get out from doing burpees or sit-ups or not sit-ups, push-ups, right? And you're bringing that focus right back. It's like taking cold showers, right? That's all he's doing. It's not magical. It's just refocusing your mind from not being so external, right? So that's my number one, is disturb your body's energy. Drop to the ground, do burpees, and anybody can do it. When I started first doing burpees, it took me an hour to do 100 burpees. And I would do like half of them on my knees. Like I couldn't even do the push-up. I did it for like the first week. Now it takes me between 10 and 15 minutes to do 100 burpees, right? My goal is to do it in 5 minutes. We're not there yet. All right. I've run out of breath still. but still, that's my number one point, is disturb the body. Exercise it, work it out, because you dragging this thing while you're here. Might as well make sure that it's strength, best shape you can, and full of energy, and feed it the right stuff. Number two, it's kind of taking along to believe. I believe in God. God says he's never going to leave me. He has plans to prosper me and not to harm me, right? He has given me a spirit of not of fear, but of love and self-control and dominion. So I'm going to put faith second. Actually, that's faith first, right? And then body second. And then the third one, I want to piggyback with you guys. The last week, actually, before I went on vacation, I reached out to a few guys that are doing what I'm doing, but at a much bigger scale. I humble myself. I listen. I ask questions. They answer the questions. They say, John, you got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. You got to do that. They're doing like 7 times more a month than I'm doing. Who am I going to listen to? They're doing a heck of a lot better, and I appreciate them taking the time to speak with me, right? Because they're the big fish in this case. And I started implementing it right when I finished the call. We're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing that. That's it. And you know what's funny? We all had this. There was one point that it was the same one for all of us. The coach, the mentor, the person that has walked the walk. All right. If you notice, Jesus Christ went in 40 days and 40 nights into Mount Zion. I was going to say Mount Everest, but it was not Mount Everest. Mount Zion, and he was tested. Right? On the 40th days, he was hungry. The devil himself came and tested him, right? And if you don't know it, go in the Bible. This is not a Bible study. But before Jesus went and recruited the 12, he went through it. And then that made it so much easier for all the other 12 to follow. All right? So that's that, guys. We are at the top of the hour here, 58 minutes in. One last word for you guys is this. If you're feeling stressed, watch this video again. Do those pointers. Fast forward to the end of this. Take each of us three points and go and apply it. And then what we like to do is next week, for those that are actually listening and go do it, come next week, come in, ask some questions, let her know how it went, and maybe we'll give you a little spotlight for applying things. What do you guys think?
I think that's great. Give them. Yep, absolutely.
Great plan. Let's do it.
Some homework. Okay. Go and apply it. You got 7 days to do it. Come back next week. We might even bring you and put you on camera here. Give you a little spotlight. All right. Just come at it. Come in the comments. Say, hey, I did this. I did that. This is what happened. All right. And let's do it, man. We're here to get better. We're not just another podcast that you're going to listen to and be entertained while you're cooking dinner. That's not what this is. This is 3 men with 3 real lives, right? We got our families, we got our plans, we got our goals, we've been through our struggles, and we've came out of most of them. Right? I'm still going through struggles. I don't know about you guys.
Always.
All
Without no struggle, there is no progress.
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another great show with ETA and your entrepreneurs in the arena. We will see you next week. Same time, same channel, same three guys. We will see you. We're out of here.
Boom.